What's up, guys? This is Zane from Inzane Comics, and I'm back to you guys with another tutorial. So I'm working on one of my projects. It's called Game Plan, and I'm on one of the pages, and I want to show you guys something. So basically, I got this back from my artist. It's not exactly what I wanted it to be. So this is how it was before, and basically what I did. So you see how this character is on the left-hand side. I didn't want him there for a reason, and so I wanted to move him to the side, and that's basically what I did. It looks a lot easier when I do it that way, but the actual process takes some time. So I want to walk you guys through the process of what it takes to edit images, um, especially if you're very specific on something like I am. Um, I think it's best that you take on some of that editing and send it to your artist. Like, I want to do this, and I'm going to tell my artist, can he fill in the gap of this journalist's arm and just kind of the background, just fill all that in. So I'm going to do all the rest. So I did this. What I'm trying to do now next is I'm trying to get this priest to move kind of similar height, similar orientation of where this guy is. And so let me show you how we're going to do that. So very first, we're going to look at this layer right here. And real quick, by the way, I will be using different tools like masking and whatnot. So you get to get exposed to all these different tools. Um, so we'll get right into it. I don't use a mouse. I have a pen and tablet that I use to do all this stuff. But anyways, okay, first what I want to do is in the foreground, I see these rose petals and I want to keep that. So in order to do that, what I need to do is click on this thing right here. It's called Edit Quick Mask Tool. Um, everything that's going to be in black will be selected. Everything in black will, I think we should do white. Let me just make sure. No, everything in black will look red on here. And what that's basically doing is it's making a selection. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to select all these images, and it's going to make more sense, all these different pixels. It's going to make more sense when it's all said and done. So you don't really need to be so specific on it. You can kind of do a little rough outline. So that's what I'm about to do. Make a real quick rough outline. I don't really need to do these because I'm going to move this guy to the left. I'm going to do that. We might not use all of this, but okay, so now we really quickly did that selection. Now basically what we need to do is click back on this, and once we did that, you see these little swirling dotted lines. It's saying there's a selection being made, but technically speaking, if you look, there's these dotted lines, what means everything is selected here except for those. So let's say, for example, I hit delete. Everything is going to get deleted except for those. The reason why this thing gets deleted because there's a folder right here open. But anyways, so that's what that means. And that's not what I'm trying to do. Right? What I'm trying to do is to bring these rose petals in a separate layer. And the way I'm going to do that is first I need to invert the selection so it only selects these rose petals. So we go to select, inverse. Now the rose petals are selected. And now basically all you do is Control C, you copy it, and then you can press V and then it'll just create its own layer. And now just so we can see, there it is. Okay. We're going to come back to this. We can label it right here. Rose. All right, so now that we got that done, now we're going to basically do the same step we did earlier with the roses to the image, and just roughly select it. Oops. not trying to create that black line. We got to click on this edit quick mask. All right, so all you have to do is just do the outline. Remember, we're talking about wherever the red's gonna go is what's being selected, and I'll show you how we can, instead of coloring all the middle, I'll show you how we can get everything selected here. And it's okay to get some, for not to be over the edge of these line arts, but you don't want it to be inside because that'll be a problem. You want to gather the information, and if you get more information on this line, that's fine. All right. Make sure that we're closing it over here because I'm going to show you why that's important. And that's fine. Okay, now we got basically this outline made. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use the paint bucket tool, which is right here. And basically what the paint bucket tool is going to do is it's going to splash paint inside. And if there was any hole, like if we hadn't covered this, then it would have painted the entire thing. Just to give you an example, let me see. Let's say I created this little gap right here, right? Or wherever, right? Now if I throw the paint bucket tool in here, it's going to make everything red. That's not what we want. That means it selected everything. There's no point. There's no point to that. So let's just go back. But now that it's all closed, now if we use the paint bucket tool, you see it did this. Now it painted the entire image. One of the things that I've noticed, and I don't know why this happens in Photoshop, if I find a way to fix this, I'll let you know. But if you zoom in, there's these lines that happen, and you don't want that. So just real quickly, just do a quick outline over these little white lines. It's like it doesn't fully flush. The colors don't flush. I don't know why that's the case, but it is what it is. By the way I'm moving like this, in case you don't know, I am using a pen, and also I use the space bar. And so when you hit the space bar and you keep, when you have it pressed, it creates this little hand button, and all you got to do is you just press anywhere on the screen, and then you can just move that way. So that's what basically I'm doing. All right, we got this selected. I'll zoom back out. So this entire image is selected. All we got to do is click back here. Now remember, everything else is selected, so we need to do select inverse. Now just this man's selected. Control C, Control V. Boom. He's now over here. Now, before we proceed any further, one of the things that I want to do is I want to cover the area where this man was standing at. And there's one of few ways we can do that. Okay, here's a good way to do it. What I'm trying to say is basically I want to put a white area around where he is. And I'll show you why we're going to do that. So remember, this was our selection. We're going to take out the rose petals. So if we already put the effort into doing this, and you know what? I'm going to take this a little further. And we're going to get rid of all these little edges. and make this more clean. And the best way to do that is I like to create a mask on here. And the reason why we do that is I'll show you. If I get, there's one way you can do it where you can just hit the eraser. Where is our eraser? Right here. And you can try to clean it up like that, right? And make the edges look better. But the problem is, if you'll lose this kind of information, and then you have to click over here, edit step backward, step back. But let's say you made that mistake right here and you missed it, and you're down here and you want to go back. Well, then you're gonna have to keep on clicking undo, undo, undo until you get to that, and then you lost all this other information that you had worked so hard on. So all you got to do is you click here, and then you click on this button right here which says add layer mask. Now I created something like this. Make sure that there's this is the layer and this is the mask. Make sure there's this like white frame around this layer mask, and that means you're selected in it. And then and the way to know that is that you look on your left hand side and you only have two color options, white and black. And basically it's a similar concept to the quick layer mask that we were doing earlier to copy this. And what we'll do is we'll select the black, and I'm going to decrease the size of this. Okay, so the way you decrease and increase the size of your brushes, you can go all the way up here and change the sizes from here. You see that? Or you can go on your keyboard and you can hit the semicolons, sorry, the brackets. You can click on the brackets up in the left bracket and right back bracket on the keyboard to change the size. All right, so let's see. All right, sorry. You have to click on the white button. You have to have the white paint selected with your brush tool. Nope. You have to have the black black ink selected. Go on brush tool, and the way you increase or decrease the size of these brushes is using the brackets, the right bracket and the left bracket on your keyboard. It's underneath the plus sign, and we'll just make it kind of somewhat comfortably small. And the advantage of that is let's say I do this, right, and I'm like, oops, I kind of took too much out there. So I can just go back here, click on the white, and then color that area back in. That's basically these are some of the advantages of working with the mask. And I actually I've been working on Photoshop for a very long time, and I've actually recently learned how to do this stuff. Oh man, his beard is pretty detailed. I'm gonna leave that alone. Good thing there's no background around his beard, but over here there is. And the reason why I'm doing this is because, I feel bad. I'm being really nitpicky when it comes to this art. And so if I can kind of help the process a little bit with things that I can do and save the artist some time, I think this is better, especially with the requests that I want. All right, we're just going to keep on going down, doing this. I don't want that. Nah. I don't think that's a good idea. We'll just keep that there. I have an idea what I'm going to do. It's better to do this while you're working on the line art than it is after it's colored to make these kind of adjustments, because that would be very difficult. Okay. I'll deal with this pedal a little later. Okay. Increase the size a little bit. Just to kind of make that a little bit quicker. And I did something wrong. There you go. That's why you should use a mask every time, because what did I do wrong? Oh, it's part of his outfit. I didn't know that. From the angle I was looking at it, I couldn't tell. And if you feel uncomfortable with these angles and you want to bring it to some kind of comfortable angle, click on R, and it creates this little hand with this rotate button, and then you just kind of rotate it to wherever you feel comfortable, just kind of based on the way your hand movement works. Okay. All right. And the way you get back to your regular orientation is you just you hit escape. All right. And I think I ate too much of his shoulder right there. So I'll do something like that. Yeah, that's good. All right, so this is a lot cleaner version of that what we were looking at earlier. Let me see if I can select it. This doesn't select the right way, as I was hoping. It's all right. So we're going to go now. Select inverse. Okay. Basically what I did was now I created a selection inside to where this man is standing, because I'm now about to paint everything. You know, we're going to turn that off. I'm going to paint everything inside here white, so it just leaves the background blank. And so let's just get to it. I like to create it in a new layer, not on top of the same layer, because then you just kind of ruin the information in case you do something wrong and you want to go back to it. You know what we could do? We could just fill it in. Yeah, that's what we should do. We could just, the easiest way would be to just fill in with white like that. And go back in here and do the same thing we did earlier, create a layer mask, because now this is all white, and you see how it's kind of coming over on the bottom. And what I think I should do, all right. My mouse is being weird. All right, and then we're going to click B and just run it over that. There you go. I kind of erased all that information. Now we have that like there. And so basically what happened is, this was our original file. We added this white mask essentially, so we left the background. And then we add this dude here. And what we're going to do is just move him to the left. So I want to see where I'm moving him. Okay. I should have wrote something. Somewhere like there. Or maybe I just move him down. Yeah, sorry, this is nothing to do with the training, just my personal preference. Okay, I kind of like it being out of the but I don't think I should do that just because it won't be consistent with what I'm working on. I need to go back here and do gradient mask to cover his legs. It's a really cool way of managing your work without having to use the erase tool. I think it's pretty cool. All right. And go back here. Curious to see how the rose petals are going to look. You know what? I'm just going to let my artist deal with that. With the rose petals, I'm not going to mess with it. Okay. And here we go. All right, show's over. His arm's inside the bracket. Oh, I liked it out, but there's a reason why I couldn't do that. Because technically, the dialogues here are some are fans of movie stars and some are fans of their faiths. That's kind of what the concept here is. Yeah, it looks good. All right, that's basically how you do it. And now I'll have this gap, and I'm going to tell my artist to fill in that gap. And that's it. Thank you guys. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you guys. Until next time, see ya.